Hello YouTubers, this is 777 Die Hard Forever coming at you with another highly anticipated and highly recommended model as I continue to play catch up. Today I'll be doing a review on the JC Wings Qantas Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft and their specialized Yon Dream and livery scheme in a 1/200 scale model. I purchased this model on eBay. And before I go into details about this particular model, allow me to share you some information about the history of Qantas and how they came about and still operating strongly after over 100 plus years in service, please. Qantas was founded on November 16, 1920 in Winton, Queensland, and commenced operations 4 months later in March 1921, and the airline's first aircraft was an Avro 504K. Qantas is currently the third oldest operating airline in the world based on foundation date after KLM Royal Dutch Airlines and Avianca respectively, and still continues to operate under the same name today as it was when the airline was first formed on November 16, 1920, as Qantas recently celebrated its centennial anniversary on November 16, 2020. The Qantas name comes from Qantas, an acronym for its original name, which stands for Queensland and Northern Territory Aerial Services. Qantas also has another nickname that the airline actually calls itself, the Flying Kangaroo. Qantas is the national flag carrier airline for the country of Australia and the country's largest operating airline based on fleet size, international flights, and international destinations served. Whereas the headquarters of Qantas is located at the Qantas Centre, which is located in the city of Botany Bay, Sydney, New South Wales, Australia, while the airline's main hub and base of operations is located on the grounds of Sydney Kingsford Smith Airport, which is located approximately 5 miles south of the city centre in the suburb of Mascot in Sydney, Australia. The airline also has operational hubs that's located at Brisbane Airport, located in Brisbane, Australia, and Melbourne Airport, located in the Melbourne suburb of Tullamarine, Australia. The airline's secondary hubs are located at Adelaide Airport, located in Adelaide, South Australia, and Perth Airport, located in Perth, Western Australia. While the airline's focus city hubs are located at Cairns International Airport, located in Cairns, Queensland, Australia, Darwin International Airport, located in Darwin, Northern Territory, Australia, and Singapore Changi Airport, located in Singapore. Qantas currently flies to 20 domestic destinations and 27 international destinations in 14 countries across 6 inhabited continents, as Qantas is one of 10 airlines to own this actual distinction of permanently flying to all 6 inhabited continents, along with Air Canada, Air China, British Airways, Delta Airlines, Korean Air, Qatar Airways, South African Airways, United Airlines, and Emirates respectively, with an operating fleet of 126 aircraft, which includes 11 Boeing 787-9 Dreamliners, including this one you're looking at here. And in addition to the 126 aircraft that currently operates in the Qantas fleet, the airline also has unfulfilled orders for an additional 3 more Boeing 787-9 Dreamliners, and those aircraft, as we speak, are currently on back order and are awaiting delivery. As of November 2021, or at the time of this video review posting, Qantas is one of 59 airlines in the world of aviation that currently operates as a certified 4-star airline carrier, according to the international airline review firm Skytrax magazine. Alright everyone, we're going to take a look at the front of the box. It ain't much there except the center of what you see there is the scale 1/200 information, the Qantas Ventures logo in the background, along with the computer generated picture of the aircraft. You see the Qantas, the Spirit of Australia title there, the aircraft type, as well as the registration ship number. Alright. Alright everyone, now you're looking at this nice little metal model stand that actually came with the model. And the bottom of the model stand, you see the Qantas, the Spirit of Australia title, the aircraft type, as well as the scale model information at the bottom of the model stand. And then you come up here, folks, you see that black pattern on that top of the model stand. The sole purpose of this black pattern you see on this model stand is not only to protect your model, it also prevent it from being damaged or scratched when you put your model on this particular model stand. Alright, now you're looking at this plastic bag, and what you see in this plastic bag are the actual gear replacement doors for this particular model, which features 2 little toothpicks. Please stay tuned as I go into details for the sole purpose of these gear replacements for this particular aircraft model. Alright. Now you're looking at this commemorative card that actually came with the model. You can pause and read all that information if you like. In the meantime, I'm going to flip this over because there's some more information on the other side of this commemorative card as well. Now you're looking at the back of the commemorative card. What you see is all the specifications concerning this particular aircraft. You can pause and read that if you like. In the meantime, I'm going to keep this moving, all right? All right, with all that information out of the way about the history of Qantas and how they still operating after 100 plus years, which is a prestigious honor, plus all the details, you see there, the model stand, the commemorative card, as well as the gear replacement inside that plastic bag. With no further ado, everyone, here is the actual aircraft model. Let's check it out. There it is, everyone, the JC Wings commemorative Qantas Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft in their specialized Jan Dreaming livery scheme in a 1/200 scale model. All right, allow me to share you some information about the Qantas Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft and how it came part of their fleet, as well as the specialized Jan Dreaming livery scheme you see displayed there as well. If you would, please. It actually began back on December 13, 2005, and that's when Qantas originally had placed an order for 115 Boeing 787s, in which 35 of those were the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliners, with 20 options plus purchase rights for an additional 50 more of the aircraft variant for the sole purpose of renewing and expanding its long-haul fleet. However, on August 22, 2012, Qantas previously announced that it had canceled its 35 Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft order for the sole purpose to conserve capital due to the economic losses that was mounting at the airline during that year. Then fast forward 3 years later, and that's when Qantas actually became the 25th carrier to acquire this prestigious state-of-the-art aircraft, as the Sydney-based carrier took delivery of its first of 14 Boeing 787-9 Dreamliners that the airline had placed orders for back on August 20, 2015, as the first Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft, which bears the registration ship number Victor Hotel Zulu November Alpha, was officially delivered on October 11, 2017 at a special delivery ceremony that was held at Boeing's 787 Delivery Center facility, which is located in Everett, Washington. And then it made its actual debut 16 days later on October 27, 2017, with its first inaugural validation flight between Sydney and Melbourne, and then eventually flew from Melbourne to Sydney and Perth respectively from November 6 to December 14, 2017, as trial Boeing 787-9 domestic flight runs for flight certification purposes, which allowed the maintenance crews, the flight crews, as well as the ground staff personnel time to get familiar with the aircraft per se before the actual international flight launch. Then the Sydney-based carrier's first inaugural international revenue service flight on their Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft officially took place on the very next day, which was December 15, 2017, and that's when Qantas officially began utilizing their Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft on their Melbourne to Los Angeles route, replacing the Boeing 747-400 that was previously utilized on this particular route, as Melbourne, Perth, Sydney, and Brisbane will become the international gateway bases for this particular aircraft type, as this aircraft is destined to become one of the airline's official flagship jetliners for the Sydney-based carrier, which has ultimately replaced their Boeing 747-400s, which was finally phased out on July 23, 2020, and the Boeing 767-300ERs that was officially phased out completely in 2014, as Qantas expects to utilize this aircraft on their ultra-long-haul route from Australia to worldwide destinations on all 6 inhabited continents in the foreseeable future. All right, let's talk about the Indigenous livery scheme you see on this aircraft. The Sydney-based carrier Qantas unveiled their special Indigenous livery scheme by honoring the Aboriginal and the Torres Strait Islander Australians on their 4th Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft, which bears the registration ship number Victor Hotel Zulu November Delta, which happened to be this aircraft here, on February 14, 2018, 12 days prior to this aircraft being delivered to Qantas on February 26, 2018 in Everett, Washington, in which this particular indigenous livery scheme is actually called the Yam Dreaming livery scheme. The special indigenous artwork that's displayed on this particular aircraft features the work of the late Northern Territory artist and senior Ameri Emily Karma Nungwarwe, which is based on her famous 1991 painting, as the artwork depicts the culturally significant yam plant, which actually was an important symbol in Emily's paint dream stories, as well as a staple food source in her home region of Utopia, which is located approximately 143 miles northeast of Alice Springs, Australia, as Qantas paid an honorary tribute by naming this particular aircraft in Mrs. Nungwarwe's honor. The indigenous Yam Dreaming livery scheme was actually adopted for the aircraft by the indigenous-owned design studio firm of Balleringi, whose global headquarters is located in the Sydney, Australia suburb of Crow's Nest, who actually collaborated with a team of more than 60 graphic designers and painters from the Boeing plant facility in Everett, Washington, to install the design onto the aircraft that includes 5,000 dots, which took more than 10 days to complete the entire paint of this aircraft. So, with all that information out of the way about this aircraft, as well as the specialized indigenous Yam Dream livery scheme you see on this aircraft, with no further ado, everyone, let's get down to business and allow me to show you all the details on this aircraft. Shall we? Let's check it out. Alright, now you're looking at the front of the aircraft here on the port/left side. We're going to start at the front with the front nose gears right here, the nose gear struts, the nose gear landing gear doors, including the partial registration ship number on there, November Delta, the pitot tubes and the static ports, the radome nose cone, the windshield wipers and the cockpit windows. I'm going to give you a better visual view of those later on in the review, so stay tuned for that part, okay? Okay, now you look, and underneath the cockpit windows, I decided to bring this up a little closer, is the Qantas Vintage Kangaroo logo, which is this logo right here. As part of its revised livery scheme makeover, Qantas also brought back and reintroduced the iconic winged kangaroo logo, which was the airline's third actual logo that was featured on the Qantas tails of their aircraft from 1968 up until 1984, as this vintage logo continues to pay tribute by honoring the heritage of the carrier's rich history. And then underneath the Qantas vintage logo is the name Emily Karma Nungwarwe, okay? And Emily Karma Nungwarwe was an Aboriginal Australian artist from the Utopia community in the Northern Territory region of Australia, who was born in 1910, as she was recognized as one of the most prominent and successful artists in the history of contemporary indigenous Australian art, as some of Mrs. Nungwarwe's paintings included Yam Dreaming, as well as her very last paintings were Wild Potato Dreaming and Body Paint. But unfortunately, Mrs. Emily Karma Nungwarwe eventually passed away on September 3rd, 1996 at the age of 86 years old. May this beautiful woman rest in peace. Alright, we're still at the front of the aircraft here, and you see the two little blue dots by the L1 door right here, as well as the L2 entrance door right there. Those are the One World logos, and Qantas actually joined the One World Alliance, along with American Airlines, British Airways, and Cathay Pacific, as one of the 4 founding members on February 1st, 1999, which consists of 13 airline members from 6 inhabited continents. And then you see the Qantas title font you see up here. The Qantas title font was also handcrafted and streamlined as part of its revised livery scheme makeover to a thinner type font, as the colors were changed eventually from a dark black toward a lighter charcoal tone. I can see the difference. Yeah, it's kind of like dark gray there. Alright. Alright, now we're at the center of the aircraft, and right above the windows you see the Spirit of Australia title font. And this particular typeface title font has also been refined and simplified, as well as it complements the other aspects of the new identity that is displayed on this actual aircraft. Okay. And then looking at the landing bogey gears here on this side of the aircraft, you see the landing gear struts as well as the landing gear doors. But more important, you see these nice little engines right here, including the engine cones right there. And then there's the sawtooth pattern. The sole purpose of the sawtooth pattern, it not only helps improve fuel efficiency, it helps improve noise reduction at the same time. as these are the General Electric Gen X-1B turbofan type engines that are used on this particular Qantas Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft. Now I'm going to turn this aircraft model around and let you see the front of the engines and the turbofan blades do spin. Let's check it out. Alright, now you're looking at the front of the engines here on the port side, featuring the engine strike right there, and the turbofan blades do spin. Let's check that out. See? Awesome. And then you see the inboard land lights in the triangular pattern. You see the little 3 dots in there. That's the little represents the inboard landing lights, as well as the front visual view of the landing bogey gears you see there, which includes the landing gear struts as well as the landing gear doors. Now you're looking at the front of the engines here on the starboard side of the aircraft. Feature the wind deflectors, the engine strikes right there, as well as the turbofan blades spin over here as well. Perfect. See there? And then there's the inboard landing light on this side of the aircraft, as well as the front visual view of the landing bogey gears you see on this side, which features the landing gear struts as well as the landing gear doors. Alright, now you're looking at the front of the aircraft. See the top up here, you see the power escape hatch door. I'm going to show you a better visual view later on, but you got a better visual view of the cockpit windows, the windshield wipers, the radome nose cone, the nose gear doors, the landing gear lights inside of the nose gear doors, nose gear struts, as well as the front visual view of the front nose gears. Okay. Now you're looking at the curved wingtip on this side of the aircraft, the port side, featuring the red navigation light that is displayed there on the edge of this curved wingtip. Alright, we're at the back of the aircraft here on the port side, and you see real close about right in there. You see the AFT bulk bin door. You see that real close right there. But then right by the registration ship number is the Australian flag decal. And this flag decal actually represents the country where Qantas currently operates from as the national flag carrier airline for the country of Australia. And then right next to the Australian flag decal is the actual registration ship number, which is this right here, registration ship number Victor Hotel Zulu November Delta. Registration ship number Victor Hotel Zulu November Delta. This aircraft is actually the 4th Qantas Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft that entered the carrier's fleet. And the first test flight on this aircraft took place on February 15, 2018 and was delivered to Qantas on February 26, 2018. This aircraft was also the very same aircraft that was also utilized on their historical non-stop commercial flight when it flew from Perth Airport in Western Australia to London Heathrow Airport in London, England, as Qantas Flight Quebec Foxtrot 9 on March 25, 2018, which was a 17-hour, 9,009-mile journey, which is now considered the 3rd longest non-stop commercial flight on record after the Auckland to Doha Qatar route, which is operated by Qatar Airways, and the Newark, New Jersey to Singapore route, which is currently operated by Singapore Airlines respectively at the time of this video review posting. Alright, we're still at the back of the aircraft here on the port side, and right below the windows right here is the Emily Ballaragini title right there, Ballaragini title. And the Indigenous owned design agency firm of Ballaragini, sorry about that, Ballaragini has transformed Emily's 1991 painting Yam Dreamin' into the design of this special Indigenous livery scheme that's displayed on this particular Qantas Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner aircraft, which was actually inspired by the work of the late Emily Karma Nangwarwe, whereas the global headquarters of this Indigenous-owned design agency firm of Ballaragini is located in the Crow's Nest suburban section of Sydney off Strait. Alright, we're at the back of the aircraft, and what you see there is the Qantas logo that's actually displayed on the tail fin of the aircraft, which is this logo right here. And this is the revised logo for Qantas, which resembles that of a kangaroo, which was first introduced in 1944 and was remodified again sometime in 2016 as part of its revised livery scheme makeover, as this updated logo was conceived and recreated by industrial designer Mark Newson in partnership with Australian design agency, the Houston Group, whose global headquarters is located in the Surrey Hills section of Sydney, Australia. And then there's the partial registration ship number up there above the tail fin of the aircraft, November Delta. And then you see the APU exhaust hole right here. There's a hole right there. Let me stick it in there. Yeah, there you go. And then there's the strobe light right there between the horizontal stabilizers and APU exhaust hole, as well as the entire aircraft from the rear view angle. Let's check it out. There it is. Ain't it awesome? All right, now you're looking at the front of the aircraft here on the starboard side, where you see the front nose gears, the nose gear struts, the nose gear doors featuring the partial registration ship number on that nose gear door, November Delta, the pitot tubes and static ports, the radome nose cone, the windshield wipers, the cockpit window, the power escape hatch door, the Qantas vintage kangaroo logo you see there, the name of the aircraft, Emily Karma Nunwarway. You see the front cargo containing loading door, as well as the Qantas title font. All right, now looking at the center of the aircraft, where you see the Spirit of Australia title font displayed up here. And then you see the General Electric Gen X 1B turbofan type engines here, feeding the sawtooth pattern right there, as well as the engine cones right there, as well as the side visual view of these landing gears that includes the landing gear struts, as well as the landing gear doors. Now you're looking at the curved wingtip on the starboard side of the aircraft, featuring the green navigation light that's displayed on the edge of this curved wingtip device. All right, we're at the back of the aircraft here on the starboard side. You can't see it, you can barely see it, but it's there. You see the rear cargo containing loading door right there, the Emily Balleringi title right there, the Australian flag decal, the registration ship number, as well as the airline's logo displayed on the tail fin of the aircraft and the partial registration ship number. Let's check that out. There, along with the strobe light on this side of the aircraft there as well. All right, before I show you the aerial bird's eye view of this aircraft model, as well as the undercarriage belly view of this aircraft model in full detail, allow me to let you check out one feature, which is the rolling gears. So let's check them out. Rolls pretty good. So far, so good. It tilts. And the nose gear swivels as well. You see there, there, and there. So, with that said, allow me to show you the aerial bird's eye view of this aircraft. Let's check it out. All right, now you're looking at this aircraft model from the aerial bird's eye view. We're going to start at the front, where you see the nose cone, the windshield wipers, the cockpit windows, the power escape hatch door, the anti-collision beacon light. You see the Qantas titles on both sides, the high frequency antenna. You see the satellite communications antenna. You see the ADF antennas in 3D. You see the Spirit of Australia titles on both sides. And then looking at this nice little livery you see right here, the high frequency antennas, and then there's the vertical stabilizer known as tail, and then there's the horizontal stabilizer with the little dot there, as well as there. Those little dots are called illuminator lights, and the sole purpose of these illuminator lights is to light up this tail here when it flies during nighttime. Now let's check out the engine and the wings. There's the engine there, the engine strike. You see the wings there with the no step warning information there, along with the flaps, slats, aileron, spoilers, fuel dump valve, as well as the aerial bird's eye view of this curved wingtip device. Now let's check out over here. See the engine there, the wing featuring the no step warning information, as well as the flaps, slats, aileron, spoilers, fuel dump valve, as well as the aerial bird's eye view of this curved wingtip. They're a little chipped off there, but it's all good. Now you're looking at the undercarriage belly view of this aircraft, where the first part of the fuselage is mostly white. Everything else is covered in that Yam Dreaming livery scheme underneath. So there's the nose cone, the closed nose gear door, the open nose gear door, the front nose gear. And then we slide up here. That's the Yam Dreaming livery scheme you see there. The anti-collision beacon light there. The hole where the stand goes in at. A couple high frequency antennas. No APU housing door. There's the horizontal stabilizers underneath. Now let's check out these gears here. The gears there. They tilt a little bit. Okay, perfect. And then you see the engines right there, as well as the wings underneath, which features the flaps, slats, aileron spoilers, the registration ship number, the fuel dump valve, as well as the curved wingtip on this side of the aircraft. Now let's check out over this side. There, okay. The engine right there, as well as the wings underneath on this side of the aircraft, which features the flaps, slats, aileron spoilers, what have you. The fuel dump valve, as well as the curved wingtip on this side of the aircraft as well. Alright, since I show you the aerial bird's eye view of this aircraft model, as well as the undercarriage belly view of this aircraft model in full detail, now I'm going to put it on that nice little model stand you see over there that came with the model that I showed you earlier. So with no further ado, everyone, here is the model on the stand. Check it out. Alright, finally got this model on the stand with no problem, no hesitating, as you see it being displayed in a takeoff landing position, with the model on the stand being viewed from the port side of the aircraft. Now you're looking at the aircraft in the takeoff landing position with the model on the stand being viewed from the front view angle. Now you're looking at this model in the takeoff landing position with the model on the stand being viewed from the starboard side of the aircraft. And finally, looking at this model being viewed with the model on the stand being viewed in the takeoff landing position being viewed from the tail cam angle. Alright, before I take this model to stand, I got in this position for a reason. And the reason is the magnetic gears that came with the model there, and there. I'm going to go and take them all, starting with the front nose gear right here. They all magnetic there. The gears here on the port side there, as well as the gears on the starboard side there. Alright, so with that, no further ado, let me show you this model from a different angle in flight mode position. Let's check it out. Okay, now you see this model being displayed with the model on stand without the gears in flight mode position. Now you got one or two options how you want to display your model from this point on. If you want to display it like that without the gears, that's fine. That's option number one. You see these gear replacement doors I showed you earlier? That's the sole purpose of these gear replacement doors, is to substitute your gears while you display your model like this in flight mode position. Or the second option, which I would recommend, is the gear down position with the gears on there. Gears up, gear down, that's your choice. I choose to leave mine on there because it adds more value to the model. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and put these gears back on this model, take this model to stand, and go ahead and wrap up this model review, alright? Okay, let's talk about the seating configuration. The Qantas Boeing 787-9 stretch Dreamliner aircraft seats 236 passengers in a three-class configured cabin layout. Here is the breakdown, everyone, from rows 1 to 12, which will be from here to about right here. You have 42 business class live flatbed seats, rows 20 to 23, which will be from here to about right here. You have 28 premium economy class seats in rows 40 to 59, which will be from here all the way back to the rear of the aircraft. You have an additional 166 economy class seats, which brings a total of 236 seats. And in addition to employing this aircraft, the Boeing 787-9 stretch Dreamliner aircraft on route from Melbourne to Perth, Sydney, Brisbane, and Los Angeles as the inaugurated international flight destination, as well as prior to this aircraft being grounded in the earlier part of 2020, Qantas previously utilized this aircraft, or was in the process of utilizing this aircraft on routes from Melbourne to San Francisco, California, Los Angeles, California, and Hong Kong, and Dallas Fort Worth, and from Perth to London Heathrow, from Brisbane, Australia to Los Angeles, California, New York JFK via Los Angeles, California, and Chicago O'Hare, Sydney, Australia to Dallas Fort Worth, Hong Kong, Johannesburg, London Heathrow via Perth, San Francisco, California, Santiago, Chile, Tokyo Narita, and Vancouver. From Sydney, Australia to Chicago O'Hare, New York JFK, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and Seattle, Washington. from Perth, Australia to Paris, Charles de Gaulle, Rome, Fumicino, Berlin, Tegel, and Frankfurt, Germany, and from Melbourne to Seattle, Washington, and Dallas, Fort Worth via Brisbane, Australia. Those are the routes. Well, everyone, this will conclude this model review. I'd like to know if you got this model or you plan on getting this model, if you can find it. You can't even find it on eBay except the 1/400 scale version, but the 1/200 scale is pretty much impossible to find at this point. If you can find it, I wish you the best. But with that said, please take care. God bless. Stay tuned. There's more model content coming. Peace.